I would like to, find out whether, do you remember what we have done in the previous session? What type of, what type of data interpretation we have done? Tell me what type of data interpretation we have done. Line graphs. Yes, line graph based data interpretation. So, what I told you in line graph, how many types of line graphs can we see? Yes, single line graph, double line graph, triple line graph. Yes. And also we have seen a different type of tabular based models also. Okay. Yeah. So we have seen a different type of tabular based models also, where we have seen some average based questions and ratio based questions. Yes. Yes. I hope the concept which we spoke yesterday was clear. The previous day was clear. So in today's session, what are we going to handle is data interpretation, pie chart based, okay, pie chart based and some caselets based, okay. So what is meant by a pie chart? See, when you say a pie, okay, what substance can be said a pie? Any object which is made in a circular shape, okay, with some dough. Okay, by using some dough, any object made in form of circular shape is generally called a pie. Okay, so how is a pizza? Circular shape, right? Yes, as the data which we come across in this session will be in the form of a circle, that is the reason why this is called pie chart. Okay. The data is in the form of a circle, that's the reason why it is called pie chart. Yes, whereas when you talk about caselets are nothing but here you don't have any kind of graphical representation. There is no graphical representation, but you will be having information overload. Basically, you will have some kind of information which might be about percentage. You know, they might give percentage, they might give average, they might give ratios, or they might give some addition, subtraction. The complete data is not managed properly. Just some flow of information is given. Okay. Now, we have to decode that flow of information, arrange that in an order and solve the questions. Those are called caselets. Okay. Yes. Clear till now? So, in pie chart, if you see, we have two types. Okay. We have two types in a pie chart. First of all, remember a circle, to consider it to be a circle. Okay. When a circle to be considered to be a circle, we will consider this as 100%. Okay. We'll consider a circle, a complete circle as 100%. This is one case. Second case, we all know that in order to complete a circle, okay, in order to complete a circle, this circle will make 360 degrees. Do you all agree with me? Okay, we all know this circle from starting here, if it has to complete the circle, it should make how much? 360 degree, right? Yes. So, in today's session, we will see two kinds of problems. One is percentage. The data will be given in percentage type. Second, the data will be given in degrees. Okay. One, the data will be given in percentages. Two, this data will be given in degrees. So, we will see two types of problems. Okay. Two types of problems, two models of questions in this session. Yes. Shall we start? Till here everything is clear? Yes. We'll go to the first question. Read the question. Study the graph carefully and answer the questions given below. So, here they are saying that the percentage of marks scored by a student in 5 subjects are given below. So, there are 5 subjects. So, I'll change the color of the pen. We were loving green color, no? So, yeah, let me go with green color only. Okay. So, here what they are saying, there are 5 subjects. Marks of 5 subjects is given, right? What are those subjects? Maths, science, computer, English and Hindi. These are the 5 subjects given, right? And they are also telling that each exam is for a total of how many marks? 50 marks. Each exam is for a total of 50 marks, right? Okay. Now let us go and see the percentage given. Okay. If you observe this portion, okay, this is computers. You can see the symbol here. Yes, this is computers, and computers is how much? 78%. Computers is 78%. So, yes, always remember when you read the question, reading this is important. Whether the data is given in percentage or the data is given in degrees. Okay. Here the information is given in percentage. So, we are going to take that percentages. Okay. Next, observe this. Where is this? So, here this represents maths. Okay. This represents computers. This represents maths, and maths is how much? 60%. Right? Yes. Next, this is Hindi. Hindi subject. The percentage of marks got by the students in Hindi subject is how much? 85%. Right? Then, what is this? This is English. English subject how much? 30%. Okay? And last, this is science. Science how much? It's 80%. Cool? This is the data which is given. Okay? Now, let us go and solve the questions. So, in the question, what it is given? Calculate the marks scored by the student in science. Marks scored by the student in which subject? Science. Okay. Let us go and see in science how much percentage the student got? 80%. Yes. 80% of what marks? Total marks for that subject. What is the total marks for that subject? This is percentage of marks the student got is 80%. Now, total marks for science is how much? Is 50 marks, no? Each exam is a 50 marks. So, for science also, the total marks for science is 50. 50. Yes. Now, an ordinary student or a general student who is not preparing for the examination or who is not in deep practice, how they do this question? Let us see. See, we have to calculate 80% of 50. Yes. So, they generally do this way. 80 by 100 into 50. Then 50 ones are 50 twos are. Again 2 ones are 2 fours are 40. So, answer is 40. Yes. This is how a regular student does the question. If you do not practice, but how does a smart student do it? Let us see how does a smart student do it. So, we need 80% of 50. Yes. See, we all know 80% of 100 is how much? 80% of 100 is 80. Then 80% of 50 will be half of 80. It's 40. Yes. Are you all with me? Is the point clear? Rather than taking 80% of 50, what I took is, if 80% of 100 is 80, 80% of 50 will be, 50 is half of 100. So, obviously, 80% of 50 will be half of 80. Yes, half of 80 is 40. Yes. Are you able to understand how we can interpret the data, how we can, simplify the content? Yes. So, option number D, 40 is the correct answer. Yes? Hope you all understood this. Right. Shall we go to the next question? Next question. What is the percentage of marks scored by the student in science and mathematics? Here, they are asking for the percentage of marks scored by the student in what? Both science and maths. Right? How can we do this? Again, I'll tell you, if you do not practice questions, what you will do? You can do one thing here. It's very, any of the data is very simple. So, we'll do it this way only. See, take science. In science, how much marks? 80%? Yes. 80% of 50 plus maths. Maths, if you see, it's 60% of 50. Yes. And they're asking what percentage? Take this value, 80% of 50, how we have done in the previous question. 80% of 100 is 80, then 80% of 50 is 40. Yes, plus 60% of 100 is 60. Then 60% of 50 is half of 60. Half of 60 is 30. Yes, we get 70. And this will be 70%. Why this is 70%? How do we take percentages? Total marks obtained by the students in both the subjects by total marks of both the subjects. Total marks of both the subjects is 50 plus 50, 100, right? 50 plus 50, 100 into 100. You are getting my point? This and this will always get cancelled. So, it will be 70%. So, anyhow we know that it's 100. I did not calculate further. I told you it is directly 70%. Yes. So, option B, 70% is the correct answer. Okay. Option B, 70% is the correct answer. Yes. Are you all with me? Right. Next question. Question number 3. What is the average of marks scored by the student? They wanted to find out the average of marks scored by the student. Okay. Now, how can you take the average of marks scored by the student? Yes. Now, those students who did not practice such kind of questions, they tend to do this in this way. Let us take average is nothing but sum of all the marks by number of subjects, right? Sum of all the marks by number of subjects. So, when generally how they do, you see, they'll take 78% of 50 plus 60% of 50 plus so on 30% of 50. Yes, that's how they start calculating all percentages. Then they'll come to a conclusion. Okay. But we don't require to use all these things. Yes. How can we do? Directly you will be observing this chart. Take 7. See, first we'll go from here. 60%, half of 60% is how much? Half of 60% is 30. Plus half of 30% is 15, plus half of 80% is 40, plus half of 85% is how much? 42.5, plus half of 78% if you take it's 39. They are asking average by number of subjects, 5. Done. Khel khatam. Yes. Yes, you are getting my point here. What I have done, why did I take all half values? Already in first and second questions I explained you why I am taking all half values. Okay. Sum of 30 plus 10, 40 plus 40, 80, 80 plus 40 is 120, 120 plus 30 is 150. Yes, fine. Plus, here 9 plus 5 is 14, 14 plus 2.5 is 16.5. Am I right? So, it will be 150 plus 16.5. So, it's 166.5. Am I doing it correct? Please check. Again, let us see. 30 plus 10 is 40. 40 plus 40 is 80. 80 plus 40 is how much? 80 plus 40 is 120. Right? 120 plus 30 is 150. Cool. Next, 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 plus 9. 7 plus 9 is how much? 16. 16.5. Right? By 5. So, if you take 5, 3 times is 15. Check the options. Okay, all are starting with 3. Again 5, 3 times is 15. See the options? Yeah, only one option if you can see, which is 33. So, option B, 33.30 is the correct answer. Option B, 33.30 is the correct answer. Yes? Done? Clear? Clear? Can we go further? Yes. Next question. Question number 4. See this. What does it say in the question? What is the sum of marks scored by the student in Hindi and mathematics? They are asking sum of marks. Yes. Scored by the student in which subjects? Hindi and mathematics, right? Yes? Okay, simple. Take Hindi value, maths value, that's all, no? Where is Hindi? 85%. Half of 85% is 42.5. Half of 85 is 42.5. That is the marks in Hindi. Plus maths. Maths, where is maths? 60. Yes. Half of 60 is how much? 30. So, 42.5 plus 30 is how much? It's 75 point. Am I right? Sorry. 42.5 plus 30 is 72.5. Yes. Option C, 72.5 is the correct answer. Yes? Yes? Are you all with me? Let me know if you have any doubts, any issues. You know, I told you, in examination, pen and paper you should not use. But if you have to not use pen and paper in the examination, first of all, you have to practice a lot. You have to use pen and paper while practicing. And also, after that, you have to start doing it in the mind. Yes? So, my question for today is, did you sit with your book? Yes? Are you all practicing along with me? Are you all practicing along with me? So, can we go further? We'll go for the next question then. I see there are no doubts, so we'll go for the next question. Next question. What are they saying? Study the graph carefully and answer the questions given below, right? The 5-month total sales of a textile shop, okay? There is a textile shop, okay? And for this textile shop, there are 5 months of total sales given, okay? What are those months? January, February, March, April and May. So, in these 5 months, the sales data is given here, okay? And the total sales is 1,44,000 in these 5 months. Clear? Now, if you see, in the month of January, it is 25%. Yes, in the month of February, it is 21%. And after that, March, it is 19%. Right. April, it is 16%. And May, it is 19%. Why am I writing all these things is because maybe you might find this data, you might not find the information. So, I am writing it out here. Okay. Okay. This is May. March and May, again we get confused while solving. So, it's May 19%. Cool? Clear? Right. Now, going into the question. Question number 5. See the question. What is the sales rate of the shop in March month? Sales rate of the shop in which month? March month. So, what is the percentage in March month? In March month, it is 19%. 19% of total sales. So, 19% of 1,44,000. Yes. Again, if you do not practice speed calculation or if you do not practice how to handle such kind of questions, what we generally tend to do is 19 by 100 into 1,44,000. We start writing all these things. Oh, 100, no? 0s cancel. Then 19 into 1440. We do all the multiplication. Not required. Yes, how we can do? Always remember, if you have zeros here and if you have a percentage, then what we can do is this percentage and these 2 zeros will get cancelled. Simple. Percentage and 2 zeros will get cancelled. Right? Now, you see 1 0 is there, write that 0 as it is. Yes? 9 4s are how much? 36. Check for the options. In the options, if you see, last 2 digits, if you observe, only in the option number A, you can see last 2 digits 60. Here we got last 2 digits 60. So, which is the correct answer? Option A is the correct answer. No further calculation required here. You are getting my point? No further calculation required here. Option A, 60 is the correct answer. Right? Yes? Done. Next question. Favorite color? Done. What is the next question? Question number 6. What is the difference between sales rate in May and February? Sales rate in May and February. Okay. So, here generally how people take is, how you take that is, May, where is, okay, I will write the data again here. Okay. May 19%. This is Jan, how much? 25. Next, this is Feb 21. January, February, this is March. This one is March. How much? 19%. April, 16%. Right? Yes. Okay. So, they are asking difference between the sales of May and February. So, February is 21%. See, why I am writing February first is because this value was bigger one. Okay. So, February is 21%. So, how students, how you tend to do it, I will show you. Okay. Not you, those who did not practice. Okay. 21 into 1,44,000 minus February, okay, fine, May, no? Minus 19% into 1,44,000. Yes, this is how you take the difference. Okay, you will calculate the total value of 21%. You will calculate the total value of 19%. You will come to the conclusion then by taking the difference. If you do this, gone. 2 minutes, 3 minutes of your time gone. But we don't have that much time. Yes? So what can we do here? First, take only the percentages. Take only percentage. 21% is from February minus 19% is from May. Right? So 21 minus 19 is how much? 2. So we just require 2%. 2% of how much? 1,44,000. Yes. Yes. Are you all with me? Do you agree for what I am doing here? Yes. We just subtracted percentages. When you subtract percentages, you get a value. Yes, that value is just simple value, 2%. This is very easy, no? Rather than taking the complete value. Yes. So, 2% of 1,44,000. Again, I told you when you have percentage and zeros like this, percentage and zeros will get cancelled. Yes. You will write the 0 as it is. 4 2s are 8. Observe the options. In the options, do you find any option ending with 80? Yes. Option B is ending with 80. So, the answer is 2,880. Yes. Clear? Yes. No doubts. We can go further. Okay. Done. Next. Fine. May 19%, April 16. This is March. March 19%. This is Feb 21 and Jan is 25%. Right? Next question. Read out the next question. You're playing with colors. Okay, I'll try to do with light green color now. Fine. So read out the next question. The sales rate in January is what percentage more than that of sales rate in April? Sales rate in January. See, sales rate in January is what percentage more than sales rate in April? Okay. Okay. Now, shall I show you how generally a student who has not practiced is doing it? Sales rate of January is 25%. So, 25% of 1,44,000 they will take. Minus, so we want percentage more than, okay, X is what percentage more than Y? If I ask you, X is what percentage more than or less than Y, then how do you write? You will take X minus Y by, we are comparing with Y, so Y in the denominator into 100. Are you all with me for this? This is how we take greater than or less than values, right? And I already told you, if whatever value is there after of or after than, that will come in the denominator. Yes? Yes? The same thing we are doing here. So, generally how they do, how student who has not practiced will do is, they will take 25% of 1,44,000. Yes? Fine. And then percentage of April they will take, okay? 16% of 1,44,000 by again 16% of 1,44,000 into 100. Okay? Okay? We are not attempting 10th class board exams here. We are not trying to, do max A, max B. Yes, M1, M2. No. We are just trying to crack a competitive examination where your time every second matters. Right? Are you all with me? Then how can we handle this? As I told you in the previous question, how did we take the difference? We just took the difference of percentages. Same thing we will do here, we'll take the difference of percentage. 21% minus 16% by 16% into 100. Yes. 21 minus 16 is how much? 9. Yes. Percentage out. 9 by 16 into 100, or it's 900 by 16. Yes. Done? Clear? Yes. Now if you see 900 by 16, how we can take 16 in how many multiples we can go near 9? 16, how many multiples we can go near 9? 16, 5 times we can go near 9. Yes, 16 5s are 80. See the options? Yes, only 2 options are starting with 5. That means we can rule out option A and option C. Here we are 50% nearer to our answer. Next, if you see, if this 16 5s are 80, how much is remaining? 10 is remaining, so this is 100, right? So, now next number, when 16 5s are 80, so here also you need not do any calculation, you can observe. See the second digit, here it is 3, here is 6. 16 5s are already is 80. So, obviously, any value which we have to take for 100 will be after 16 5 only, no? Yes. So, 16 6 are 96, right? So, 5 6. Yes. Did we all get our answer? Option number D, 56.25% is a correct answer. Are you all with me for this? Clear? Any doubts? Yes? I am just helping you tackle the questions in a simpler way. Okay? We are not going to do a complex multiplication or division or subtraction or addition. We are simplifying things here, and simplifying things is very, very important for our examinations. Yes? Right. Next question. Question number 8. What is the ratio of sales rate of March to April? Ratio of sales rate of March. They are asking us to take the ratio. Fine. Ratio of sales rate of March to, I will write March. Again. Oh, before this I will write the data so that you will be able to clearly identify. Okay. So, this is January, which is 25%. Fine. Feb is 21%. March, it is 19%. April, it is 16%. And May, it is 19%. Now, what is the question? They are asking us to take the ratio of March to April. March to April. Fine. Okay. Where is March? Okay. You all tell me how to do this. Should we take, percentage value into total value by 100? Or we can just take the percentages? We need not take the total value here, because here also we will get the total value, here also we will get the total value. Yes? Yes? See, okay, fine, I will try, I will show it. Okay, first thing, March is 19%, 19% of 1,44,000. That's all, right? April, where is April? Okay, 16% of 1,44,000. Should we have to take this way? Anyhow, these both will always get cancelled. So, we need not take this way. We can just directly check the percentages here. So, March is 19%, April is 16%. So, the ratio will be 19:16. Which answer? Option number B, 19:16 is the correct answer. Yes? Yes? Please let me know if everything is clear, any doubts, any issues till now. Also, in the comment section, let me know what all the examinations you are preparing for. Okay, let me also see what kind of students we have got. Okay, and for those students who are listening to this session after the live, okay, you might come across this live, okay, in the YouTube channel or wherever it is, and you started listening to this session. If you have any doubts relating to the concept or relating to the courses, you can comment down, you will get your answers. Okay, right? If you like this, please like, share and subscribe. Okay, then, okay, there is one more question. Let us go for this. Question number 9. Which of the following months have highest sales rate? Which of the following months have highest sales rate? Okay, I'll write the data back again here. Okay, this is January, which is 25%. February is 21%. March 19%. April 16%. And May, it's again 19%. Okay. Yes. See how the question paper is setting, person who sets the question paper is March and May. Both will start with M and both are 19% only. Students generally get confused in taking the value. Okay. Anyways, fine. So here they are asking the highest sales rate. They are asking highest sales rate. Just observe the pattern. Whichever percentage, whichever month is having highest percentage, that month is having highest sales rate. Yes. So if you see all, January is having highest percentage. So January is having highest sales rate. Where is the option? Option number A, January is the correct answer. Right? Good to go? Yes. Next. See the question. Read the question. Study the pie chart carefully and answer the questions. The mark list of a student in 5 different subjects is given below. Okay. How many different subjects we have? 5 different subjects we have. The total marks scored by a student, the total marks scored by the student in 5 subjects is 500. So basically the total marks is 500. Okay. Okay. Right. Now see this. What are those subjects? English, Hindi, Maths, History and Biology. So these are the 5 subjects. Good. See, English is 25%. English is 25%. Then comes Hindi, which is 10%. Then comes Mathematics, which is 28%. Then comes Biology, which is 16%. And History, which is 21%. This is the data given here. Yes, you all understood the data, right? Okay. Now coming to the questions. Question number 10. What is the marks scored by the student in English? Marks scored by the student in English. So, English percentage is how much? English percentage is 25%. We need marks scored by the student. This 25% is for what marks? For 500 marks in English she got 25%, right? So we have to take the value as 25% into 500, right? Right? 25% into 500. Now, again the same method. If you have percentage and zeros, you will cancel them off. Yes, 25 into 5 is how much? 125. 25 into 5 is 125. Where is 125? Option A, 125 is the correct answer. Right? Clear? Okay. Next question. Question number 11. What is the difference between marks scored in Hindi and biology? Marks, they are asking the difference between marks scored in Hindi and marks scored in biology, right? Shall we do this in a smarter way, simpler way? As I told you in the previous questions, if they ask in this way, first we'll take the difference of percentage only. Take the difference of percentage. Okay, first I'll write the values again here. Okay. English 25%, Hindi 10%, Maths 28%, Biology 16%, and History is 21%. Okay, fine. Your data is clear? Fine. So, we need subtraction of Hindi to biology. Yes, if you see, biology is 16% minus Hindi is 10%. Yes, that's all. 16 minus 10 is how much? 6%. So, we just need 6% of the total marks. So, 6% of 500. Yes, again if you have percentage and zeros, cancel them off. So, 6 5s are how much? 30. Yes, option number B is the correct answer. Right? Yes, clear with this? So, we are not taking the values, we are not taking the complete value. We are just subtracting the percentages to get a simpler percentage. When you get a simpler percentage, it is easy to calculate. Right. Next question. Question number 12. See, what is the ratio of marks scored in biology and maths? Okay, ratio, they are asking for the ratio. Ratio of marks scored in biology and maths. Right. So, let me rewrite the data here. January, it's 25%. Feb, 10%. Okay, it's not about January, February, fine. English is 25%. After English, it's Hindi, 10%. Maths, it's 28%. Then it's biology, 16%, and history, 21%. Fine. Right. We need the ratio of biology and maths. Take biology and maths. Biology is 16%, maths is 28%. Remaining all we need not write because percentage gets cancelled. If you take the total value also, both sides they get cancelled. So, we just need to take the values, that's all. Right? Yes. If you see, this 16 is to 25, in which multiple we can take this out? 4 times is 16, 4, 7 times is 28. Yes, so 4 is to 7, option D, 4 is to 7 is the correct answer. Yes, right? Okay. Next question, question number 13. Read out the question. If the percentage of marks scored by student in English is 30%, okay, find the marks scored by him in English. So, here they are not saying anything related to the graph. Here we know English is 25%. Okay, let me write this data anyhow. It's not necessary here, but still. Hindi is 10%, Maths 28, okay, Biology 16%, History 21%. Fine. Okay, this is not required anyhow for this question because In the question itself, they are telling that the percentage of marks scored by the student in English is 30%, it seems. Okay. So, now we have to calculate 30% of the total value. Okay. So, now we want marks scored by the student in English. Marks in English. Yes. So, that is percentage, how much they have given? 30% of 500. Right. The total marks, 30% of total marks, right? Yes, do the calculation here, same thing, percentage and zeros will get cancelled, 5 3s are 15, where is 15? 150, so answer is 150. Option B, 150 is the correct answer. Yes, option B, 150 is the correct answer. Yes, good to go with this, right? Okay. Next question. Which among the following subject scored the highest marks? Same thing. Whichever subject is having highest percentage, that subject is, for this student, in whichever subject he got highest percentage, there itself he is getting highest marks. Yes. So, take the data. English 25, fine. Hindi 10%, then it's maths 28%, then it's biology which is 16% and history 21%. So, yes. Now tell me, in which subject the student got highest marks? In which subject this student got highest marks? We can see maths, in maths he is having highest percentage. Yes, that means he got highest score in maths. Right? If I tell you, time is the most precious thing. Whatever you want, whatever, if you are wasting your time using scrolling media, see everything can be given time. But when you are preparation, give more amount of time for that preparation. Once you are successful, everything follows. Yes, then you will have time to do anything you want. Yes? Okay. With this, shall we start for this next question? Yeah, we'll read out the question. The list of students interested to join in different professional courses is collected by a college and given below. Okay. So, students interested to join different professional courses it seems, okay. That list is collected and given below. And the number of students, important, this is a second model of representation of pie chart. First model, we dealt with percentages. This is second model, okay. So, the number of students is represented in degrees. The number of students is represented in degrees, and also the total number of students in the college is 9,000. The total number of students in the college is how much? 9,000. Fine. Before going into the question, I would like to clarify few things here. First of all, we also always consider the complete circle to be 100%. Yes. Not from here. Okay. I write from here. We will consider the complete circle to be 100%. Will you all agree? Similarly, we will consider the complete circle. To complete its circle, it takes 360 degrees. Yes. Yes. That means 100% is equal to 360 degrees. 100% is equal to 360 degrees. Then, calculate the value of 1 degree. Calculate the value of 1 degree. 1 degree is equal to 100 by 360. Yes, 100 by 360 percentage, or it is 5 by 18. So, 1 degree is equal to 5 by 18 percentage, which is very important to remember. Okay. I can simply tell you 1 degree value is 5 by 18, just remember. But what happens is, in case if you are attempting your examination and at that time you don't remember 1 degree value, you can calculate in this way to figure out the value. Okay, so you understood how we have done this? Let me repeat this, because this is very important to solve the next questions. We will consider complete circle to be 100%. Yes, again we will consider that this complete circle will make 360 degrees. So 360 degrees is equal to 100%. Yes, then what is the value of 1 degree? 1 degree is equal to 100% by 360. Yes, right? So from this we got the answer 1 degree is equal to 5 by 18. Yes, yes. Now coming back to the question. Okay, in the question, see, the total number of students in the college is how much? 9,000. Yes, the total number of students in the college is 9,000. But the data which is given is in degrees, right? So, we have to figure out the total data is 360 degrees. Total strength is 9,000. Similarly, total data is 360 degrees. That means we can equate this 9,000 into 360 degrees. Yes, is the point clear? Total data, if you consider 100%, we equated 100% to 360 degrees. Similarly, if this total data is 9,000 students, that is what they are telling, no? Total number of students in the college. Total number of students in the college is 9,000. Yes, this 9,000 we can equate to 360 degrees. Yes, from here, for 1 degree, how many students can we accommodate? For 1 degree, how many students can we accommodate? 9,000 by 360. Yes. See, how many students can we accommodate? 36 2 times? Yes, 36 2 times is 72. Yes, when it is 72, how much is remaining? I'll change the color. Okay, 36 2 times is 72. How much is remaining? 8 here, 10 there. So, it is 180, right? So, 36 5 times is 180. Yes, are you all with me? So, 1 degree is equal to 25 students. Why did we do this is, this will make our things very simple. Okay, so I'll write this down. First, I'll write this data. In engineering, there are 80 degree students. In medicine, there are 75 degree students. Okay, then comes robotics. There are 48 degree students. Architecture, there are 68 degree students. And philosophy, there are 89 degree students. Yes, and also 1 degree is equal to 25 students. Right? Yes, information is clear. We got 1 degree is equal to 25 students. Have we got 1 degree is equal to 25 students? I already told you. Fine. Now coming back to the questions. Question number 16. See it. What is the average number of students interested to join architecture? Is this the question? Is this the first question? Or do we have any question before this? Okay, we have one question before this. So, first let us try to solve this question. Okay, we already got 1 degree is equal to how much? 25 students. Okay, right? And mark down the percentage. Engineering, it's 80 degree, not percentage. Medicine, 75 degree. Then robotics, 48 degree. Architecture, 68 degree. And philosophy is 89 degree. Fine. Okay, cool. Right. Question number 15. What is the number of students interested to join engineering? Okay. So, engineering, if you see, 80 degree students are there in engineering. Okay. Okay. So if we would have not calculated this, then we would have taken 9000 by 360 and did it. But we already calculated 1 degree value as 25 students. So how many students do we have in engineering? It will be 80 degree into 25. Yes, 80 degree into 25, 25 8s are 200. Yes, 200, and this 0 comes here, it's 2000. What is the answer? Option A, 2000 is the correct answer. Yes? Done? Are you all with me? This is the 16th question. Read the question. What is the average number of students interested to join architecture? So, average they are asking. Yes, average is of architecture plus robotics plus medicine by 3 values, right? So, by 3. Yes, first of all, what we'll do is, we will take the total degree required here, okay? Not individual degree. What we'll do is, we'll take the total degree required here, okay? If you see, architecture, where is architecture? Yeah, it's 68 degree plus robotics 48 degree plus medicine is 75 degree. Yes, total if you take, it is how much? 60 plus 40 is 100, 100 plus 70 is 170. Yes, plus 8 plus 8 is 16, 16 plus 5 is how much? 16 plus 5 is 21. So, 170 plus 21 is 191. So, overall 191 degree is the value which we get. Yes, right. So, what are they asking? We need average. So, average is nothing but students from all the 3 divided by 3. Yes, students from all the 3 in degrees we got 191. But if we have to convert this into students, you have to multiply this with 25. Yes, by 3. Are you all with me on this? Right? 191 into 25 by 3. 191 degree into 25. Here I will share you a trick to calculate 25 multiple. So, whenever if you have to multiply a number with 25, let us see in simpler ways how we can multiply a number with 25. Okay? Yes. So, 191. Any number to be multiplied with 25, first divide the number with 4. Okay? First divide the number with 4. 4 4s are 16. 3. 4 7s are 28. That's all. 4 7s are 28. How much is remaining here? What is the remainder here? Remainder here is 3. Yes. So, we got 47. Now, this 47 will be multiplied with 100. First step, what we have done? Step number 1, we have divided the number with 4. We got a value plus a remainder. Now, the value which we get, we will multiply that value with 100. Okay. And in step number 3, what we do is, take the remainder and multiply the remainder with 25. Okay. Again, you might be getting this doubt, ma'am, anyhow we are multiplying with 25. Can't we multiply directly? Do you think it is easy to multiply 191 with 25? Or is it easy to multiply 25 with 3? This is simple, right? So, 25 3s are 75. Now, add these both. 4700 plus 75. The answer will be 4775. Yes? Yes? Shall we see whether this is right or wrong? This is the method how to multiply with 25. Whenever there is any number multiplied with 25, this is the method. First step, you will divide the number with 4. You will get a value plus a remainder. If you do not get a remainder, simple, that value will be multiplied with 100. Okay, here we are getting a value plus remainder. This value we are multiplying with 100 in the second step. And lastly, this remainder will be multiplied with 25 and finally we will add it up. Okay. Another method every day in the class we are doing, it is breaking this number. We can break this number as 100 plus 90 plus 1 into 25. Can we do this? 25 into 100 is 2500 plus 25 into 90 how much? 25 into 80 is 200. So 25 into 90 is 2250 plus 25 ones are 25. So answer will be 5774. Did we get the correct answer? 5774? Yes. Anyways, this way or this way, whichever way is comfortable for you, whichever way you think is easy for you, you can go further. Right? So, how much we got here? We got 4775 by 3. So, yes, do the, do this. 3 ones are, check the options, all are starting with 1. Okay, then 3 5s are 15. Second option also, second digit also, all are starting with 5. 3 5s are 15. 3 9s are 27. Check the options here. If you see the options, option C and option D is having 159. 159, 159. So, option A and option B is ruled out. Yes. Next is 3 1s are 3. See here, if you see, this is 1592. This is 1590. Yes, we already got 1. That means 1590 cannot be the answer. So, option D, 1592 will be the answer. Yes, we already got 1 here. So, obviously 1590 will not be the answer. So, last option 1592 is the correct answer. Yes. Please let me know if this is clear. Shall we move further? Next question. See, writing the data back here, 1 degree is 25 students plus, okay, engineering 80 degree, medicine 75 degree, robotics 48 degree, architecture 68 degree and philosophy is 89 degree. Okay. Next question number 17. What percentage of students is interested in joining architecture? Okay. What percentage of students is interested in joining architecture? They are asking. See, if you see architecture, 68 degree students are interested in joining architecture. Right? You can convert this into percentages. See, I already told you. 1 degree is equal to how much percentage? 5 by 18 percentage. So, you can convert a 68 degree into 5 by 18. Yes. 2 9s, 2 3s are, 2 4s are. So, you will have 34 into 5 by 9. Yes. 5 3s are 15. 150 plus 5 4s are 20. So, it will be 170 by 9. What am I doing is just breaking down things simple. Okay. So, 34 into 5, I don't want to calculate such kind of complex things. So, simply I did 5 3s are 15, it's 150, 5 4s are 20, it's 20. That we can do in the mind. But if I do calculate it, you will not be able to figure out when you are trying to do it. That's the reason I have written here. So, it is 170 by 9. Yes. Now, 9 2 times is 18, so it is not happening here. So, 9 1 times. Just check the options. Here if you see option A and option C is starting with 1. So, we can rule out option B and option D. Yes. Next, when 9 ones is 9, how much is remaining here? 8 is remaining here. Okay. How many times can we take? 9 8 times? Yes, 9 8s are 72. Check the option. Where is 8 after 1? Option number A. Yes, first option A. 18.88 is the correct answer. Option A, 18.88 is the correct answer. Clear? Yes? Next question. What is the ratio of students interested in medicine and philosophy? Ratio of students interested in medicine and philosophy. If at all, if you are not practicing the questions, I will show you how you will do. Okay. So they are asking the ratio. Ratio of what? Medicine to philosophy. Okay. Right. Fine. Medicine, I'll write the data back here. Okay. 1 degree is 25. I'm just writing to make things clear for you, because already this is marked. When you see in your phone, you'll not be able to figure out. That's the reason I'm writing this down here. Medicine 75. Then robotics 48 degrees, all are degrees. Architecture 68 and philosophy is how much? 89. Okay. Right. So the ratio, they are asking ratio of medicine. Where is medicine? Medicine is 75 degree is to philosophy. Okay. I told you how, if at all you do not practice, will do. Okay. 75 degree into, you will multiply with 25. You will convert this into students. Then you will take the ratio. Where is philosophy? Philosophy is 89. Medicine to philosophy only, medicine to philosophy, yes, 89 into 25. Okay, why I am telling this is, if you are not practicing the questions, obviously you tend to take the complete values. But if you practice n number of questions, then you will feel that anyhow if we take this value, this and this will get cancelled. Anyhow they will get cancelled. So, you will not feel the urge of writing the values. So, directly you will take 75 is to 89. Yes. Do we have any options? Yeah, direct option. Option number C, 75 is to 89 is the correct answer. Yes. Following me? Yes. Any doubts? Shall we go for the next question? Yes. Are you all ready? Okay, fine. Next question, if you see. Study the graph carefully and answer the questions given below. Very good. The total cost behind the production of a company is given below in degrees. Reading the question is important. Okay. See, when we are attempting in the examination, students generally tend to just look at the graph. Okay. They generally tend to look at the graph and directly go to the questions. But very important is reading this question. Because if you see, you might consider this to be in percentages. Okay, 92%, 85%. You might consider, I am telling. Okay, you are not going to consider, but still, when you are doing it in the examination, you might consider this to be in percentages. But in the question itself, it's very clear that it is degrees. So, the question is mentioning that the data is given in degrees. That is the reason why reading question is very, very, very important. Not only in arithmetic, but in any kind of, English or for that matter, if you are attempting general studies questions, reading the question is important, because sometimes they will ask what is true. Sometimes they will ask what is not true. Okay, when they ask what is true, we will put the right answer. But when they ask what is not true, we just see the true word. We will not see the not in front of it. Okay, then what we'll mark? We'll mark a wrong answer. Yes, that's the reason why observing the question is important. Now going to the question, there is a total expense of, so total expense is 1,08,000. Okay, I didn't write this. Okay, fine. The total expense is 1,08,000. Okay. Here, before going into the question, we'll break this down. Okay. Yes. See, complete circle is what? 360 degree. Yes. And this is the total expense, right? When this chart is given, that means this is the total expense. So, the total expense will be equal to 360 degrees. So, 1,08,000. Yes. Then, what is the value of 1 degree? 1,08,000 by 360. Yes. Yes, simplify it and get an answer there, so that it will be simple for us to do remaining 4 or 5 questions. Okay? Right. So 36, how many times can we take 108? 6 3 times. 6 3 times. 36 3 times we can take 108. Right? 36 3 times. Yes, perfect. So 36 3 times we can take 108. It is 300. So what is the value of 1 degree? It's 300. Yes. Yes. Fine. Now coming back to the question, first of all, let us analyze what the data is given. They say the transportation cost, here cost or expense is same. Yes, because there is cost given, there is expense given, you need not confuse them. Cost or expense is same. Okay, so transportation cost is how much? 85 degree. For transportation it is 85 degree. Labor cost is 75 degree. Raw material cost is 108 degree and tax cost is 92 degree. Clear? Right? Okay. Come to the question. Question number 19. What does question number 19 says? What is the expense of the company in labor cost? When you see labor cost, okay, they are asking expense of the company in what? Labor cost. Where is labor cost? It's 75 degree. 75 degree, we have to convert it into rupees. 1 degree is equal to how many rupees we got? 300 rupees. So 75 degree into 300 will be the cost of labor or expense of labor. So 75 degree into 300. Yes, 0, 0. 5 3s are 15. See the options where it ends with 500. There are 2 options that are ending with 500. That means option C is wrong, option D is wrong. Yes, 50-50 chance of getting it correct. Fine. So 5 3s are 15. Nice. 7 3s are 21 plus 1. 15, 1 carried forward, right? 7 3s are 21 plus 1. That is 22. 22,500. So rupees 22,500 is the correct answer. Clear? Yes. Next question. Question number 20. What is the average cost of production of the company? When you take, see, data again, transportation 85, labor 75, raw material 108 and tax 92. Okay, all on degrees and 1 degree value is how much? 300 rupees. Fine. What is the average cost of production of the company? Average cost of production of the company. Average is nothing but total cost of production of the company by in how many parts it is divided. 4 parts it is divided. That is the average cost of the production here. So, average is equal to total cost of the production of company is 1,08,000 divided by how many parts it is divided? 4 parts it is divided. So, it's 4. Yes. 4 1s, 4 2s are 8. Check for the options. Yeah, everything is starting with 2. So, let's go for the next one. When 4 2s are 8, it is 2. 4 7s are 28. See where we have 27. Yes, option D, 27,000 is the correct answer. Yes, the answer here is 27,000. Yes, clear? Next question. The expense in purchase of raw materials is what percentage of total expense of the company? Okay, first the data here, transportation is 85 degree. Next is labor degree, raw material 108 and taxes 92. Similarly, 1 degree value is 300. Fine. So, what they are asking, what is the expense in purchase of raw material is what percentage? Raw material is what percentage of total expense they are asking. Yes, raw material is 108 degree. Yes, that if you convert into rupees, it's 300 into 300 by total expenses 1,08,000. Yes, and they are asking the percentage, so into 100. Yes, zeros, 1 0, 1 0 gets cancelled. 108 once, 108 once, clear. So, what is remaining here? 30. 30% is remaining. Where is the option? Option C, 30% is the correct answer. Right? This is not complicated anyhow. We'll go for the next question. Question number 22. See, what is the ratio of expenses of the company in purchase of raw material to tax respectively? Okay, I'll write down this again here. Transport 85, labor 75, raw material 108 and tax 92. 1 degree is 300 rupees. Okay, now they're asking for the ratio, right? Ratio to what? Ratio of expenses of raw materials to tax. Okay, again here we need not calculate the whole value, just take the degrees. Raw material 108 is to tax is 92. Yes, so do this calculation. Can we do it with 4 table? Yes, 4 2s are 8, 4 7s are 28. Is there any option? Yes, there are 2 options starting with 27. Fine, we'll do this. 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12. So, answer 27 is to 23 is the correct answer. Yes, option B, 27 is to 23 is the correct answer. Yes, next question. We'll go for the next question. Here, the list of birds is taken from a sanctuary in January 2021. The total number of birds is 10,800. Cool, nice. And very important point, the data is given in degrees. Here the data is given in degree. Okay. So, what are they saying? Pigeon 98 degree. Parrot is, okay, parrot is 48 degree. Then comes peacock. Peacock is how much? 105 degree. And last is eagle. Eagle is 109 degree. Okay, till here clear. But here what we'll do, very first important thing is 360 degree is equal to how much? Total number of birds. This complete circle is total number of birds. So 360 degree is equal to 10,800. In the last question itself, we almost got the answer, right? So 1 degree is equal to 10,800 by 36. Right? 1 degree is equal to 10,800 by 36. That will be how much? 360. Fine. So 36 3 times 30. So 1 degree is equal to 30. That means 1 degree indicates 30 birds. So this data also is to be very clear. Now go to the question. What is the number of pigeons found in the sanctuary? So go for pigeons. Pigeons, it's 98 degree. Okay, 98 degree. If you have to convert this into number of birds, 1 degree is equal to 30. So multiply 98 with 30. Yes. Write the 0 as it is. 8 3s are 24. Check the options which are ending with 40. Option B, 2,940. This is ending with 40. We already got 40. So no further calculation required. Option B, 2,940 is the correct answer. Yes. Next question. Question number 24. I think this is all clear till now. Yes. Right? Okay. Fine. Question number 24 is, again, just one point to mention here. 1 degree is equal to how much? 30 birds. And the data here, pigeon is 98 degree, parrot right, just writing the data to make it more clear to you. Fine. If the number of parrots increased by 40% from previous year, find the number of parrots found in 2020. Okay, they are saying the number of parrots increased by 40%. Okay, increased by 40%. That means if in 2020, okay, if in 2020 there are 100% parrots, assume in 2020 there are 100% parrots. What they are saying in 2021, they are saying that there is an increase of 40%. That means there are 140% of parrots. Yes, that is what the data is given. In 2020, if you take 100%, in 2021 there is an increase of 40%. Increase of 40% is nothing but 140%. Yes, 140% of what? Of 2020 parrots, right? But here anyhow they are asking us to find the number of parrots in 2020. So we don't know the value of parrots in 2020. Excuse me. So we consider the value as x. Yes. So, and in 2021 we know the number of parrots. How do we know the number of parrots? We have parrots degree. And into how we can calculate number of parrots? 48 degree into 30. In 2021, number of parrots, clarity is there. Yes, that is equal to 140 by 100 into x. Yes, right? Okay, so this will take 48 into 30 into 100 by 140. Is the value of 2020 parrots. If you take this 2 7 times, 2 2s are 2 4s are. Yes. So the value here is 24 into 30 by 7. Yes. 32s are 60. So it will be 600 plus 3 4s are 12. It is 140. So it's 740 by 7. Yes. 7 1 times is 7. Check the options. Everything is starting with, is it 740? 32s are 60. 600 plus 3 4s are 12. 120. So it's 720, not 740. Okay. 720 by 7. Okay. Please tell me if this color is visible to you. This green color is visible to you. Okay. 7 1 times 7. Then 0, 7, 20, no? 7 2s are 14. Just go on checking with the options. 102, where is 102? Option C, option B, we have 102. So, option A is wrong, option D is wrong. Yes. Next, when 7 2s are 14, how much is remaining here? 6 is remaining. Yes. So, if you can take how much? 7 9s, 7 8s. Yes, 7 8s we can take. Yes, 7 8s we can take. So, here we got a value 8. Here we have 0. It is already crossing 0, right? So, option B will not be the correct answer. Option C is the correct answer. 1029, okay? Here we will get 1028.4 or 5 approximately. So, it will be 1029. Yes, right? Clear till now? Next question. Question number 25. The number of births shows a decline of 25% from previous year. Find the difference between number of births found in 2020 and 2021. Here, initial data, this is 30, okay, pigeon 98, parrot 48, excuse me, peacock 105 and eagle 109. Fine. And what are they saying? Let us say in 2020, parrots are 100%. Okay. What they are saying is in 2021, there is a decline of 25%. Decline of 25%. If there is an increase of 40%, what we did? We added 40 to 100. When there is a decline of 25% is nothing but we will subtract that from 100, no? 100 minus 25% of 2020 value of 2020 parrots, right? Point is clear. So 2021 parrots, right? We are talking about parrots. No, we are talking about all the birds. Number of birds we are talking. Yes, in 2021 number of birds is how much? All the birds, no? It's 10,800. Yes, is equal to, this is 75%. 75%, how we can write it in fractions? We can write this as 3/4 into, we don't know the value of 20. See, 2020 here is the year 2020. Okay, it's not number. 2020 is year 2020. We don't know the value of 2020. We'll take it as x. Okay, yes. So it's 108 into 4/3. Yes. So 3 is a 9. Yes. 3 6 are 18. So answer is 3600 into 4. Just check. 0 0. 6 3 is 6 4 is 24. Where is 4? See the options if they are ending with 400. Yes, only one option, that is C, which is ending with 400. So it is 14,400. Yes, clear with this explanation? If there is an increase, 40% increase, we did 100 plus 40%. If there is a decrease, we are taking 100 minus 20% from the previous value. Yes, point is clear? No doubts till now? Right. Next question. What is the ratio of number of peacock to eagle? So they are asking us to take the ratio of number of peacock to eagle, right? Fine. So if you see, okay, just I'll write the clear data again. Okay. So peacock to eagle, we generally take degrees here. We doesn't take any other value, not required to. So peacock, where is peacock? It's 105. Eagle is 109. Where is the option 105? Yeah, simple. Need not calculate further too. Option D, 105 is to 109 is the correct answer. Yes. Yes. Clear? So, till now, in pie charts, 2 models we have done. It's complete. This is a model of K-slit. Okay. K-slit is nothing but an information or the data is completely given. This is not an orderly form of data. Okay. The data is not given in an order. We have to read the data. We have to decode the data, make this in an order so that we can solve the questions. Okay. Yes. So, shall we read this data? Yes. Yes. Fine. Okay. Study the following data carefully and answer questions given below. A survey was conducted by an enterprise on the monthly expenditure of its employees in means of transportation. Okay. One employee from each of the 5 different routes is considered. Who are they? They are Ajit, Balu, Chetan, Divya and Farhan. Ajit, Balu, Chetan, Divya and Farhan. Fine. What did they say? Ajit spends monthly 400. So, Ajit spends how much? Monthly 400. This data is clear. Next, what they are saying? Divya spends 20% more than Ajit. So, when you take the value of Divya, she spends 20% more than Ajit. So, Ajit's value is 400 plus 20% of Ajit's value is 400. Yes, plus 20% of Ajit's value. More than 400, no? More than Ajit's value. So, when you take 20% of 400, 10% of 400 is how much? 40. 20% of 400 is 80. So, what is the value of Divya? I'll write it here only. What is the value of Divya? It will be 480. Divya's value will be 480. Yes. Right. Next. Next, what they are saying? Balu spends 25 less than Divya. 25% less than Divya. So, if Divya's value is 480, Balu's value will be 25 less than Divya's value. That means 480 minus 25% of 480. Yes, if I already told you, if there is 25%, how can we convert this into fractions? Write this in fractions. It's 480 by 4. Yes, 4 ones are 4 twos are. So it's 480 minus 120, that will be 360. What is the value of Balu? How much did Balu spend? 360. Clear? Fine. Next, Farhan spends 50 more than Divya. What is the value of Farhan? Farhan spends 50 more than Divya. That means 480 plus 50. 480 plus 50 is 530. Yes. Finally, Chetan spends 150 each month. Chetan value is 150. Clear? Ajit's value 400 we got. Divya's value 480. Balu's value 360. Farah value 530. And Chetan value 150. Yes. Now coming to the question. Who among the following employees spent least amount on the expenditure? Just check the values. Least amount who is spending? Chetan. Yes. Chetan's only spending 150. Yes. So it's obviously option B, Chetan. Right? Yes. Next question. What is the average amount spent by 5 employees monthly on transportation? Average is nothing but total amount spent by all the employees by number of employees, right? How many employees do we have here? 5 employees. Total amount spent by all the employees, how we can take? We already got the values there. So, Ajit 400, Divya 480. Yes. Next. Balu, how much we got? 360. Next, Farhan we got 530 plus Chetan 150 by 5. Right? Take the value. 400 plus 400 is 800. 800 plus 300 is how much? 1100. 1100 plus 500 is how much? 1600. 1600 plus 100 is 1700. Plus 80 plus 60 is 140. 140 plus 30 is 170. 170 plus 50 is how much? 220. Am I going it right? So 1700 plus 220 is 1920 by 5. Okay. Now 3 times is 15. See the option which is starting with, see option C and option B both are starting with 3. So option A is not there, option D is not there. Cancel them off. 5 3s are 15. How much is remaining? 4 is remaining. 5 8 times is 40. See the options. Only option C is having 8 after 3. So, option C is the correct answer. Good? Yes? Clear? Yes? Can we go for the next question? Next. Question number 25. What is the total amount spent by Ajit and Divya monthly on transportation? Simple. Total amount of Ajit and Divya. Ajit amount is 400 plus Divya's amount is how much? 480. Yes. So that will be how much? 880. 400 plus 480, 880. Yes. Ajit and Divya, yes. Fine. Clear? Next. Question number 30. What is the ratio of amount spent by Chetan and Ajit? They wanted to take the ratio. Okay. Ratio of amount spent by whom? Chetan to Ajit. Right? Chetan value is 150. Ajit's value is 400. Yes. How can we get the answer here? 5 3s are 15, 5 8s are 40. So, option 3 is to 8. Option A, 3 is to 8 is the correct answer. Yes? Done? Clear? There is nothing much here. It's very simple. Okay. Next question, 31. The monthly expenditure of Divya is what percentage of Ajit? Monthly expenditure of Divya is what percentage of Ajit? Okay. They are asking percentage. So, into 100. Divya's monthly expenditure is how much? 480. Ajit's monthly expenditure is how much? 400 into 100. This is also a basic calculation. I don't think so we require much effort in it. 4 ones, 4 twos. So, It is 120%. So, the monthly expenditure of Divya is 120% of that of Ajit. Yes, done. Again I am telling you, the more you practice the questions, the more experience you will get in solving the problems. Okay. As just now we were decoding the complete data. That data you will be able to decode it in your mind and write the values directly. If you practice more, you have to practice more number of questions for that. Yes. And in order to practice more number of questions, we have complete, PDFs or practice sets available in the course. Yes. Okay. Right. Fine. Next you see. Study the following data carefully and answer the questions below. Yes, we'll do that. A shop conducted listing of the sale of 5 different brands of pens in a week. So, they started conducting the listing of sale of how many different brands? 5 different brands of pens in a week. Fine. The total number of pens sold is 200. So, the total number of pens sold is 200. Fine. The 5 different brands. What are those 5 different brands? Parker, Cross, Shanghai, Aurora and Waterman. Okay. Parker, Cross, Shanghai, Aurora and Waterman. Fine. The number of Parker pens sold is 20% of total pens sold. So, first Parker pen, take Parker pen. So, number of Parker pens sold is 20% of total pens. So, 20% of total pens, 10% of 200 is how much? 20. 20% is 40. Yes. So, how many Parker pens are sold? 40. Right. Next, the number of Cross pens sold is 45. They have given clearly here, Cross pens sold is how much? 45. Yes. Next, they are saying the ratio of pens sold by Parker to Shanghai is 2:3. The ratio of pens sold by Parker to Shanghai is how much? 2:3. Okay. We don't know the value of Shanghai. Yes. And we have to find out Parker plus Shanghai together how many pens are sold. We know the value of Parker. So if you have to take the value out, what is the value of Parker? 2 plus 3 is 5 into the total value. Yes, the portion of Parker is, ratio of Parker is 2. So, the portion of Parker, how we can take 2 by total value into the total number of pens of Parker and Shanghai. Yes, yes. That is equal to, we already know the value of Parker. How much? 40. Yes. 2 ones, 2 twos are 20. So, the total pens of Parker and Shanghai are 100. From that, 40 pens are Parker. Then, how many pens are there for Shanghai? How many pens are there for Shanghai? When 40 pens are for Parker, 60 pens are there for Shanghai. Clear? Got the answer here? So, now, we all know Parker pen is 40, cross pens are 45, Shanghai pens are how much? 60, right. Next, the number of pens sold by Aurora is 12 less than Cross. So, Aurora pens are 12 less than Cross. That means 45 minus 12. Yes, 45 minus 12 is nothing but how much? 33. So, we have the complete value. Total pens, Parker pens 40, Cross pens 45, Shanghai pens 60, Aurora pens 33. Only one pen is not there, that is Waterman. Right? See the question? See the question? What is the number of Waterman pens sold by the shop in the week? So, we have to find out Waterman here. Yes. How can we do? Total pens minus all these 4 pens. Right? Total pens minus all the 4 pens, you will get Waterman pens. So, take 200 minus, add all these 40 plus 40 is how much? 80. 80 plus 60 is 140. 140 plus 30 is 170. Yes, 170 plus, see, 170 plus 5 plus 3, 8. So, 200 minus 178. 200 minus 178. See how much difference do we get here? 2 here, 80. Yes. So, 22 pence are for waterman. Where is the option? Option number A, 22 is the correct answer. Did you all get? Yes. So, we have, what we have done? We have subtracted from the total, we have subtracted all the pence so that we get waterman pence. Yes, 22 pence. Clear? Right? Next question. Question number 33. What is the, okay, it's D, fine. What is the difference between pens sold by Aurora and Cross? So, pens sold by Aurora. How much did we get? 33. Yes, right? Yes. Pen sold by Aurora is 33. Cross how much? It's 45. We need the difference. So, 45 minus 33. So, 5 minus 3 is 2. Check the options where we have 2 at the end. Option D, 12 is the correct answer. Option D, 12 is the correct answer. Yes. No, of course, this is very simple calculation. So, we need not, you can do it also, but not required actually. Not required. Yes. Done. Next question. Question number 34. Which brand among the following sold the least? Which brand among the following sold the least? See, Parker pens, how many were sold? Parker pens? We got the answer, no? 20% of total. Here, where is that? Parker pens are 40. Cross pens, 45. Waterman pens, how much? How much did we get? 22. And then what else we have? Shanghai pens. Shanghai pens, how many we have? See, it's 60. And Aurora, it's 33. Now check which is the least number of pens we have. Where do we have the least number of pens? Waterman. Yes. So, option C, Waterman is the correct answer. Option C, Waterman is the correct answer. Done? Clear? Clear how we decoded the content? You understood, right? If you practice more and more number of questions, then you will be able to decode this completely in your mind and write just the values. Okay? What is the ratio of pens sold by Cross to Shanghai? So, ratio they are asking to ratio of pens sold by Cross to Shanghai. Yes. Cross is 45. Shanghai how much? 60 I guess. Yes, 60. 45 is to 60. Can we go in which number we'll take? 15. 15 3 times is 45. Yes, 15 4 times is 60. Option number B, 3 is to 4 is the correct answer. Option number B, 3 is to 4 is the correct answer. Right? Next question. Question number 36. The number of Shanghai pens sold is what percent of the total sale? So, they are asking number of Shanghai pens sold is what percentage of, after of we have total. So, we will take what percent of total sales. They are asking percentage, so into 100. Shanghai pens are how many? How many? We already got Shanghai pens, that's 60, right? 60 by total pens sale is how much? 200 by 200 into 100. Yes, 2 ones, 2 threes. So, it is 30%. Where is the answer? Option A, 30% is the correct answer. Right? Option A, 30% is the correct answer.